Welcome to the channel. My name is Marco, and this is a new series I'm going to call Comic Rants. And in this series I'm going to talk about different opinions about comics and stuff. Specifically today, I will be talking about, in this crazy market we find ourselves in, is this a buyer's or a seller's market? Now, since this is a new series, I wanted to do a new background. So this is a corner of my room that I have decorated in posters and prints. Posters I've picked up from work. You know, they send out promotional posters so we can advertise for new comics coming out and stuff like that. And these are all quite a bit older, so, you know, instead of throwing them away, I took some of them out. And the prints are all things that I make myself personally, and you can pick them up on my Etsy shop. There is a link in the description. I have plenty more designs on there if you'd like to go on there and check it out. And if you purchase any, it would directly be helping the channel, and I'd very much appreciate it. And before we get into the video, quick reminder that I am doing a giveaway on some awesome comics, including a sweet John Romita signature on the Ultimate Spider-Man 100. Now, let's start talking buyer's or seller's market. I have a unique perspective. Since I work at a comic shop, I get to hear daily about what people think about, you know, different things, different topics going on, you know, or things heating up or things cooling down, this, that, different age groups, people that have been in comics for decades, people that are just getting into it now. I get to hear all this information. Of course, obviously, I'm also on Facebook in different comic groups, and I see all the opinions on there and stuff like that too. So I see and hear what people are saying. Now, one thing I just want to go ahead, get right out of the way. I'm very tired of hearing people talk about the 90s bubble and how we're in the exact same situation. It's about to pop any moment. First of all, I've been hearing that for months and months now. People have been saying the exact same thing. And even like on Facebook, on different groups, I'll see somebody be like, this is it, it's gonna pop now. And then 3 weeks later, be like, this is it, it's finally gonna pop. And people are like, weren't you just on here like saying that it was gonna do that? And you know, these books are more expensive now. We live in a different time period, and I need people to understand that. Not only has time itself progressed, but there's so much to to take apart and to show that this isn't the same as things used to be. One, primarily, that we have the internet like never before. On our phones, we can get on Key Collector app and see what books are hot, what books are heating up, all this stuff, all this news that would take, you know, somebody before, it would take them so long to figure out all this stuff. And now it's just effortlessly at our fingertips. We hear about movies coming out and the actors that will play them, the directors that are making them, the producers, all this stuff months and months and months in advance. We know the information. We live in a completely different world. And also, on top of that, what the MCU has done to establish an empire has never been done before in the film industry. And not even just the film industry, but specifically for the comic and nerd industry. Because even just without comics, or outside of comics, we have comics exploding for video games and anime and different things, you know. Whenever there's a movie coming out for whatever, Cowboy Bebop is working out right now. And that comic has exploded. You can barely even find it. And if you do, you're going to spend a lot of money on it. So it's a totally, completely different market from the 90s. And there is no comparison. I would like to put that there. Now, granted, if you have the opinion and you want to talk and bring up facts about how, you know, books are hitting certain highs and now they're starting to dip down and blah, 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 and you think that, you know, it's reached, it's this and that or whatever, sure, we can talk about that. I have no issues with that. Not at all. I have a good friend that I talk to every now and then, and he thinks, you know, we're going to be starting to see a decline. That's fine. That's his opinion. Even if I don't agree with it, we can talk about it, and that's cool. I'm down with it. But the 90s bubble comparison, I'm done with. Just want to put that out, you know, out the gate. I want to get that out of the way. Now, buyer's or seller's market, as a question, my personal opinion is we're in a bit of both. We're in this world where months and months in advance we can see what movies and shows and blah, 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 this and that and whatever. And so we can look and say, hey, personally for me, mine is Ironheart. I've picked up 4 copies of Invincible Iron Man #1, the Volume 3, the first cover appearance of Ironheart. And I've paid anywhere from $4 to $20 for each copy. And right now you can barely even find that a copy of that for $20. It's getting closer to like $30. Not a lot, I know, but we're still very far out. And so, I can safely say that I've already made a pretty good investment on those books. And I do think it will just continue to grow. And we have a lot of different, resources, like I said, to use to pick things up for dirt cheap. We have there's so many books that I've picked up for specifically $20 and under. Those are the kind of books that I'm looking at myself. I do have some other books that I've got, but I feel like there's so many books you can pick up for $5, $10, and then they end up being worth $20, $30, $50, $100, and that's a pretty good percentage-wise, a pretty good expanse. Now, granted, you're not going to become a millionaire or nothing, but if you're looking to just every now and then buy some comics and sell some comics, you'll be making a nice little chunk of change to help fund your comic addiction, because let's be honest, this stuff is expensive. Now, I do think there is a seller's market side to this, but you have to know when. And there isn't an exact answer, and it's going to differ for every book. So, for example, my New Mutants 98, I do really, really like that book. It's an awesome book. I love Deadpool. I think it's a beautiful cover. However, it's already almost double what I paid for it, and I bought mine in very late February. So it hasn't been that long, and it's almost double. That's pretty crazy. Now, you might find some people that are like, wow, let's just say doubled for simplicity's sake. My book is doubled. I should sell it right now. I think that's a huge mistake. I would not sell, if I'm going to sell this book, it is not a moment before, like right before the movie's about to come out, would be the earliest I would sell it. Now, this book is going to continue to climb, and may still climb even after that. And that's why I said it's not an exact science of when to sell a book, because it could be that the movie does really, really well, and then so it gets even more hyped up after that, and reaches new highs. It could be after the series. I've heard talks about them doing, or after the movie, I've heard talks about them doing a cartoon series. So they could announce that after the success of the movie, and then suddenly you got, new highs. Like, well, dang, I missed out on some money. After that, they'd be talking, a couple months later, they'd be talking about the fourth movie or this or that, or there's so many other factors that, like I said, there isn't an exact time, a precise time. They're like, this will be your maximum profit. We have good guesses, and that's all we can do. Unless you specifically know Kevin Feige and know what he's about to be working on, this is the best that I personally have. Now, I do know, I have a friend that fairly recently sold a bunch of comics, some big, expensive comics, because they were like, wow, this is worth so much money. I haven't seen these books be worth this much money. Like, this is crazy. I'll sell them now, buy them back later, because, it does. And I do understand comics go up and down. And so it's important to try to, sometimes you can sell books when they're at their high and buy them back again when they're at their low. Or not at a low, but at, at a new low or something. If you sell it for $500 and go back later and buy it for $300, you did pretty good. However, it was about like 3 weeks after he sold his books, he's like, man, I really should have waited a little longer, because all these books are worth more money now. And that's why it's important to note, don't get scared and think, oh my God, I've never seen these books at these prices before. I gotta sell them now. If I did that when my New Mutants 98 was worth $100 more, then, I'd be out of luck right now, because it's now $300 more than what I paid for it. So don't get nervous. Don't think, oh my God, it's crazy this is high, because books can always go higher. And I know it's a crazy concept, but look at Hulk 181. And let's talk about Hulk 181 as well while we're at it, because I have a friend that owns one, and it's the book that he never thought about selling before until recently, because the book is getting up there. It is getting ridiculous. And I specifically told him, and again, he's a big Hulk fan, loves the book, but it's like, once it gets to a certain price point, it's like, man, this is, either life-changing money, or, I could take that money and go buy a ton of other really cool books, or some other previously preconceived, unreachable book, you know, because he bought this book years and years ago when it wasn't worth that much. And so to see what it is worth now, it is tempting. I understand that. But pump the brakes, calm down a little bit, because if I had one right now, I would never sell that book until he's about to appear on in some movie. Now we might know, or for example, let's just say it's a surprise. I can't think, whatever movie, Marvel movie comes out, and then, oh my God, surprise, Wolverine's in this movie. You know, he got introduced into the MCU. You know, then I would definitely be selling it. You know, probably I'd wait. That's a tough one, because it depends. I have to watch the speculation and see, but try to capitalize on the hype. Now, granted, that might still not even be the best time. So let's say he's announced he's going to be showing up in the upcoming blah 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 movie. Let's just say Avengers movie. He's going to be in the new Avengers movie, and you know what's going to happen. Now, it could be a good idea to sell it right before that movie comes out. It could be a good move to sell it like the week after, or the day of, or you know, the weekend of the movie comes out, to capitalize again on the hype. But you could be misstepping a little bit, because maybe after his success in the film, they announced a good solo film is going to be coming up, and then the book continues to climb even more. So it's hard to say, but definitely, I would wait until like right before he's going to be introduced into the MCU, where that hype is theoretically at a high point. Again, it might go higher than that. It's hard to predict those things sometimes, but at least you have a very, very solid idea of this could potentially be the highest we see this book, at least for a while. Like with my New Mutants 98, you know, I might sell that around when Deadpool 3 comes out, because it's already almost double. If I could get, you know, triple what I paid for that, that'd be awesome. And I could use that to buy a book like the first appearance of X-23, a book that previously, I can't go buy that book right now. I don't have the money for it, you know? I don't have the money just to drop on that. It's a very expensive book. But if I can sell my New Mutants 98 and then go buy, NYX3, and maybe even have a little extra money after that, that is a win in my books. Because personally, that's a cooler book to me. You know, there's opinions. People like different characters more or less. That's a book I would love to have in my collection. So just know that there are good times to sell your books, bad times to sell your books. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't cut yourself short. But also, I think it's a great time to buy books. That's basically what I want to get across. It's a fantastic time to buy books as long as you're smart. Even if things like, for example, we'll just keep talking about the New Mutants 98. I don't think it's a bad idea to go ahead and pick one up right now. Now, granted, they are at crazy high prices historically. But that doesn't mean we can't go higher, and we're not going to go higher. I do think the book has slowed down a lot. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that it was even climbing how it was kind of crazy. Anyway, considering nothing's really happening right now. But as soon as we start getting more news and trailers and this and that about the new Deadpool movie coming out, the book will continue to climb and climb and climb. If the movie is a hit, it will climb. If there's a new cartoon series coming out, it will climb. So I don't think it's a bad book to buy. Just because you missed out when it was cheaper doesn't mean you still missed out. There's still a chance for you to go ahead and get ahead of the curve. Now, that's going to be it for my rant today. Again, hope you like the new setup. And again, if you buy any of these prints or any other prints that I have on my Etsy shop, it would mean the world to me. Link in the description. And, also, if you're wondering, because today's the day I typically would be talking about whatever Disney Plus show is coming out. Specifically, today would be Bad Batch Episode 4. I've decided to rework how I'm going to do things a little bit. So instead of doing a review on each episode, I'm just going to do a series or a season, depending on the show, review. And for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to do this new series, and I'm already doing 5 videos a week. And so I didn't want to do 6 videos a week. I was like, I'm cutting it off at 5. And on top of that, for the Disney Plus stuff, it comes out in 3. It comes out at 3 in the morning. So I have to stay up until 3, watch the show, if it's a half an hour or an hour long or whatever it is. And then, spend another hour or so editing the video and filming the video. And so I wasn't going to bed until like 5 or 6 in the morning. and then have to be up at 10 o'clock to go to work at 11. So it was getting a little bit much, and so this I can record earlier in the day. And I hope y'all will still enjoy. Like I said, I'll be doing just a whole season wrap up on Bad Batch, and moving forward, Loki and whatever else that comes out, I'll just be doing them like one season or whatever if it's a full series. I'll just do a review at the end of it, and it'll probably still take the place on as my Friday video. I'll just skip out on the Comic Rants, but that's gonna be it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you're new. That's all I got. See you next time.